Chelsie, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. I wanted to have you on because you're working on a really exciting project called ultra-processed foods. For those of us who are not familiar, what is ultra-processed food?
Caleb, so initially ultra-processed foods are imitations of foods. It's taking organic produce or foods and breaking them down into subparticles of food. So it's really just an imitation of the real thing. And so now we're having all of these health concerns because how does our body essentially break down what is not supposed to be in it?
Well, and this is something that's been going on, unfortunately, for a very long time in America. My understanding from the lawsuit that's been filed is that this was a lot of the folks behind Big Tobacco that designed additives, both additives and in an unnatural amount of naturally occurring things like sodium to make food more addictive.
Exactly. So around the 1980s is when the Big Tobacco kind of took over the food industry and started making these products more, like you said, addictive for specifically children. Prior to the 1980s, you won't see that many or any children who were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or non-fatty liver disease. That was mainly for elderly who maybe had overly consumption of alcohol, but now you're seeing children, minors, who are being diagnosed with these unfortunate illnesses and having to be treated from a very young age up until adulthood.
And so my understanding of the lawsuit, and of course you're working on that with a whole team of attorneys, is that, the marketing was geared towards children. It's an addictive food product, the colorful wrappings, things like that. They knew what they were doing. They get them addicted early, and it's causing this alarming rise. And again, we didn't see this pre-1990,
Right.
but now the rates are really alarming of the type 2 diabetes in children, which is causing lifelong disease. And you're working with a group to hold these manufacturers accountable for what they've done to so many children in this country.
Yes, currently there's only one lawsuit filed for ultra-processed foods, but we are working with a team of attorneys that hopefully will be able to help the thousands and thousands that have been affected by ultra-processed foods. The goal here is not to be, the plaintiff attorney that goes after all of the companies like some people may think. We want to be able to help diets of children. We want to help the industry at least be informed and educated about what you're consuming. So if you choose to go that route, you know what's in that product and how you could essentially better help yourself. So the goal here is to help children, of course. The criteria currently for the litigation encompasses those under the age of 35 who have developed type 2 diabetes or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease under the age of 18.
So if you're a parent or grandparent out there and your child or grandchild meets this criteria, then they should give you a call and they may be able to qualify. Now, there's a lot of questions that go into this, is my understanding, to be able to determine who may be at fault here.
Correct. There's so many different brands out there, and there's so many different products now that you can consume aside from just fast food. Like Tricks Are for Kids. They have these catchy phrases that catches the eye of children. And then, of course, as children, you go to your parents and you're begging for these things. And as a parent, you want the best for your children, but sometimes, you cave a little. You want to give them a treat. But we need to be able to educate those on what effect this treat will now have on my child's longevity.
Well, and a lot of these are manufactured by the same defendants, and I don't think a lot of viewers realize that it's a few companies that are making thousands and thousands of products that are all designed to be addictive, to be attractive, and cheap for them to manufacture. And then we're seeing sodium rates, sugar rates out of control, and the human palate is not able to resist this product.
Correct.
And it was designed this way.
Yes. Absolutely. One of the major players, I think we all know Kellogg's, right? We have their cereal, we have their oatmeal bars, we have all of these different things from this particular defendant that we assume would be a healthy food, but there's a lot of manufacturers out there that need to be putting warnings on their products. And so that is the goal, one of the goals with this litigation.
So if you or a loved one were diagnosed with fatty liver disease or type 2 diabetes and are currently under the age of 35, the diagnosis must have occurred before you were 18 years of age, you may be able to join this lawsuit, and I wish y'all all the best. Please keep us informed as this makes its way through the court system.
Thank you for having me today, Caleb.
Thank you.